myself. I get high, I get low, there's no I'm feeling bad. You told me bad is good.
Hey, we are here with somebody that has 3 different names, basically. So it's Memories Out of the Box,
Yes.
MaRTiE,
Yes.
and it's
Show and tell.
Show and Tell. So which is your primary name?
Well, my primary name, of course, is MaRTiE.
Oh, I thought it was one of the other ones. Really?
That's the one I was born with.
Okay.
I had for, because I'm much more well-seasoned than you are, for sure. And I'm 55, so.
All right. Yeah. So, well, you're looking quite in shape.
Yoga.
Yeah. How long have you been going for that?
Probably about 15 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you good? Like, can you do all the poses?
No, I'm just
Doesn't matter,
average.
right?
Exactly.
Because that's not yoga to like be able to do all that.
I'm not macho.
Exactly.
I just do it.
Yeah. It's about internal transformation, right?
And just showing up.
Showing up
Yeah.
on that mat.
Absolutely.
I know. Do you do yoga, Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Every day?
DDP yoga.
What's that?
It's
Yeah, what
this
is
pro
that?
wrestler. He started professional wrestling when he was a little bit older, like 38. They usually start when they're like 20 something.
Yeah?
And he developed this yoga system that helped him. It's low impact. And he wrestled until he was like in his 40s, and then he dropped out and just pushes yoga now.
That's awesome.
So it's
Hard
really
on
good.
your body. So
The
wrestling.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that'll be low impact now.
Yeah.
I love Shavasana.
What's that?
You don't know?
No.
The last pose of practice that you're lying on your back and you just get to meditate.
Right.
You don't
corpse,
do that in
the
yours?
corpse pose.
No,
Oh, they don't do that.
I
Really?
only do. I just adapted some of it to just stay in shape. Like I don't really pay attention to the whole
Serious.
shebang.
Their whole ritual.
Yeah.
I'm
that's
just kind of
cool.
I modified it to do my thing.
What do you do? Like downward dog, upward dog? Stuff
Yeah,
like
really
that?
slow push-ups. I do leg lifts. And
The pass out drunk.
weird stuff.
I've
Laying around
never heard of
my
that pose.
limbs.
So, all right. And what is Show and Tell?
Well, my first business was Memories Out of the Box, which I started almost 10 years ago.
And what did that do?
I am a personal historian and visual storyteller. So
Okay.
basically what that means is I am fucked. No, I started something, basically a new industry in the fact that I just felt like people had way too many photos and documents of their lives,
We
either
do.
their own personal.
What do we do with them?
Exactly. In a physical box or a digital box, it really doesn't matter. We have so
Storage.
much. And so my goal is to help people tell their visual narrative through these items instead of them sitting in a box.
And how is that done?
Mostly it's done with my clients who finally find me because, again, it's a new concept.
Yeah.
And they're like, can I deliver the moving boxes to you? And
Right.
and so literally I just get boxes and bags and suitcases and
Photographs
trunks and
Movies.
photos and home movies and documents and locks of hair, which will lead me into the show and tell, and many postcards,
Wow.
playbills, everything that people save on
All
their
the
lives,
memories.
everything. And then I spend a lot of time organizing and then editing and editing and editing.
Wow. So do you have a lot of space?
I don't right now. I work out of my home. So I have a
Right, of
home
course.
studio. I had a store and hated every minute of retail. And this was in Prospect Heights near Branded Saloon. As a matter of fact, that's how we know each
Yeah.
other. And so I had that, but I ended up realizing I really didn't need a retail location. I just needed. I'm
Yeah.
hoping to have a studio one day out of my house, but right now it's in my house.
And that works. So
So
what
it
kind
works.
of editing do you use?
Basically, it really depends. So I have basically, it seems, 2 types of clients. Either clients who really just want a one-off, so it's a one-of-a-kind project that is using the original items. Like I said, lots of hair, baby teeth, the bracelet from the hospital.
Now, does it all turn
booties.
into like a DVD or like?
No, generally speaking, the end product, the third part.
Yeah.
Is create. That's the third thing. And the create part can be anything, but it generally my clients want good old-fashioned scrapbooks.
Ah.
Or if they want multiple copies of things because multiple family members, like
Right.
someone passed away and
Yeah.
everybody in the family wants a copy of it, then once I organize and edit, then everything gets scanned through a great company called DigiFi in Brooklyn, because I'm not a digitizing company.
Ah.
And then I work on creating a digital book that then gets printed and
So
multiple
how
copies.
I just am so in awe over that you can take all this stuff basically and funnel it into a finished product. Like, how do you know what are the most important key items? Like, it's objective to you. It's not emotional. So for you, you can like just pick and choose. For like, if I was sitting
That's
there,
the critical point.
yeah, because like the hoarder mentality wants everything means something. So like, how do you know what doesn't really matter?
Well, first of all, keep in mind that I do not throw anything away.
Of course.
Okay, so that's nothing's going to get lost.
Right.
So that's
Might
the
not
first
get
part.
into the book.
Right, into the final product, but it's still there. And although I'm 100% open to have clients work with me as we move ahead, I'd say at least 95% of my clients just don't have the time. Or
Of course, that's why they hire you.
That's why they hire me.
Right. It's a great idea.
So basically, what I say is, I've been calling myself a photo listener lately. A photo listener instead of the photo whisperer, because I don't speak to them; they actually speak to me, and I listen after spending many hours with them, and also in conversation with my client, finding out what their end goal is, what do they want.
So are a lot of these like sometimes like for a birthday gift or parents' anniversary, certain number, like are they usually specific reasons, or do some people just want to have something, a memento?
It hasn't been focused on anniversary, specific things like due dates, thankfully, because it can take quite a long time. So I've usually not worked under a strict deadline like that, although I've done a few. But most of them are really life reviews. They really are, like my first client that I had 10 years ago, and I'm still working with her today.
Wow.
She brought me all the stuff that she'd saved on her daughter's life. She had bought a book already, a scrapbook that had her daughter's name embossed on it. She brought me that in boxes of other things, and she bought it 5 years before when her daughter was graduating from high school, and her daughter was now 4 years before, and now her daughter was graduating from college.
Right.
And she found me on Craigslist when I was advertising there, and so we were able to get it together because she gave me 2.5 months, and I was able to pull it all together and get it done for her. So yeah.
Wow. So you've been doing this for 10 years?
10 years, yeah.
Wow. And what do you charge?
I charge hourly because people, as we know,
Yeah.
very different understandings of things, and I
Yeah.
have some people go, "Oh my God, I got hundreds of photos,"
Yeah.
and they bring in a nice little neat shoebox.
Right. I have
And
a
then-
few.
And I'm like, yeah, and then you have other people who are like, oh, I have this DVD and that DVD, and I have this and that and this, and you're like, well, and they want an estimate, and you're like, well, how many photos do you think you have? And they say, oh, a couple of hundred, and you take the DVD back, and you end up realizing it's a couple of thousand.
Wow.
And, so nobody really, they don't really have a sense of how many. So I just do an hourly rate. I
have like cabinets full of photographs.
And so generally when I can meet with somebody or Skype with them, because I'm doing that now, and I can see their archives, both digital and physical ones, then I can usually give a rough estimate of how much, how many hours would be invested, and on my part and their part as well, obviously. And then, and I'd say probably close to 90% of the time I'm right on. It really often has to do with when people keep on finding boxes, or they want to get so involved in the process that then I spend a lot of time reviewing with them, which is perfectly fine, but needless to say, it adds time to the estimate.
Wow, so what's show and tell?
Well, like I said, it's a new industry when I started 9 years ago, although, and I thought I was brand new at this, and basically am, but I found the Association of Personal Historians, which is an international having its 20th anniversary
Oh.
next year,
And you're one of them.
and I'm one of
Good for
them.
you.
Yes, and I found them about 3 years after I started Memories Out of the Box. And wonderful group. A majority are memoir writers, oral historians, and video biographers.
What'd you study in school?
I studied science. I have a biology background and was a high school biology teacher here in New York City for 8.5 years.
Wow. In Brooklyn?
All over the city, actually.
Wow, I have a friend
Yes.
that's a biology teacher now.
Oh, really? I loved it. I loved the students, the administration and the politics of it. Just got
The
difficult.
Board of Dread. I know.
Yeah.
It is the Board of Dread. I didn't make that up.
No.
The principal
Well,
of
it's
my
how-
kid's
it was-
school told us that's
Isn't
what
it
it's called.
funny that it was always called the Board of Ed? Board. I'm Board of Ed. It was
Yeah.
always that, and then all of a sudden now it's Department of Ed.
Oh.
Yeah, it's now officially the
They
Department of Ed.
changed the board to the department.
Yeah.
Wow, so you went
Yeah.
from biology to memoirs.
A topic that I didn't
How did
really
you fall
like
into
history when I was in the high school.
Right.
Because I didn't have very good history teachers, I
Right.
think.
Yeah.
And it was only history opened up to me when I ended up getting in contact with personal history. It comes alive in a much better way. It's not just dates and you're like, oh, these are real people. And
Yeah.
of course I knew that they were people, but all I was learning was dates and places and names and blah, blah, blah. So it just was too boring. But now I find history, of course, fascinating.
That's amazing. That's great. So, back to show and tell.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, like, is it called show and tell now?
It's called show and tell, although I'm we're in works of changing the name
Are
a
you? Do
little
you have
bit.
other people working with you?
Well, no, I started it basically because it's like I said, my work
Yeah.
is very unusual, and so I just knew that it was always word of mouth, but I needed more mouths.
Right.
So how do I get that? And I was sitting at my friend Victoria's Tell It Brooklyn event. I don't know if you know Victoria, but she was at the Way Station
Okay.
2.5 years ago or so, and she basically stood up and said, "These are the rules. You get 4 minutes. You can't have a prop, and you can't read from it." And I just sitting there thinking, well, what if you wanted to have a prop, and what if you did want to read from it? And that's how show and tell got born in my brain. Of course, it came from elementary school teachers.
Right.
But as an adult, as an object-oriented storytelling event, it came to me through that process, and I thought, well, maybe this is a way to get I didn't come to hosting events naturally.
Right.
I'm sort of what they're calling now, somebody said on TED, something like omnivert. Relatively introverted, but ended up realizing if I wanted what I wanted in life, I needed to get over myself. And so I went into, I was like, this will work, the show and tell. And so I've done that since, actually started at Branded in the spring of 2012.
Oh, we love the brand.
I love the straight, friendly
They're the best.
bar. Yes, I love them.
they're-
Gerard, Chris.
I love Gerard.
Yay, Gerard!
Yeah, it's the best place. So it is National Hot Dog Day, and we need to get a skeleton. I was going to say a hot dog from your closet. Exactly, a skeleton from your
A
closet.
skeleton.
Yeah. So you're always doing such sweet and nice things to everyone else. What's a little naughty thing you once did?
That I once did. Oh God! See, this is so difficult because I've been realizing I've just been too nice.
Oh, I'm sure you've done something.
And,
Did you ever get in trouble, MaRTiE?
To be honest, no.
Did you ever cut class when you were in high school?
This is what I can say.
Okay.
It took me until I was about 48 years old to start hanging out in bars.
Wow.
Well, in my 20s and 30s, I always walk by bars after school or after whatever and be like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. So anyways, I started hanging in bars. Basically, Branded Saloon, Beast, Soda Bar.
Just recently?
In my late 40s. And,
You never went
and then
into a bar?
I did, but I didn't like hang out there. And then, of course, I ended up thinking in my late 40s that I was going to keep up with the professional drinkers in their 20s and 30s.
Oh.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh,
So
boy.
I had a little visits to the throne. Am I supposed to eat one of these things?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. You earned it.
And yeah, it was quite.
So how do you
What
feel?
am I
Are
doing?
you happy that you've explored such horizons?
Realistically, what it's done, and can I make a shout out for our next show and tell?
Yeah.
Is it's brought me into the realm, into the home of some just wonderful people.
Good for you.
And so that's what, you know, it's like, okay, but then I have to realize I can have one or two drinks. And I have a seltzer afterwards. I don't have to try to keep up with them.
Good
That's
for
the
you.
difference.
That's
So-
you're a smart woman.
That's
Well,
but I
it's
love
maybe
them.
by starting now, it made you
I-
able to be like that. Because
I
if you-
figured that out a couple years
It's
ago.
if
a
you
little-
started
I did it for
when
2
you were-
years.
Moderate.
Yeah.
It's like a little tip of advice. It's 1 drink, 2 drink water, 3 drink, 4 drink water.
Yeah, it's
Must have water.
I'm like
Water.
the 1, 2, and then water, and then just enjoy the rest of the evening. That I don't have to
Exactly.
do that. So, but our next show and tell
Yes.
is next Tuesday at Branded Saloon.
And the date
is September 16th. It's
Oh,
6.
that's my dog in heaven's birthday.
Aww.
Simon Labone.
Simon.
Simon Labone.
Can you
yes.
come visit us? There you go. Because the theme is all things hair. I'm sure that Simon had some.
He did. He
So you
would've-
can bring, because that's the theme, and you can bring anything. I have a friend who brought a
September 16th.
art brush that was made out of squirrel hair.
My
Yeah.
daughter made a sculpture of Simon.
Oh,
Yeah.
you can bring that. Yeah, it can be anything. It can be the musical hair. It can be bows. It can be instruments hair. But I've had lots of hair, lots of hair
Wow.
come already in the last 2
Good
years,
for you.
and all kinds of things hair.
Good for you. Do you have a website? Do you have a website that you want people to stalk?
My
you on?
website for my own business is www.memories out of the box. We don't have a website for Show and Tell, but you can find us at Show and Tell It on Facebook.
Perfect. Perfect. So
Thank
would you
you.
like to push a button?
Which I just pick
You can
Any
hit
button.
whichever one you want.
any button.
There you go.
Oh.
Out of the box. There you go.
Perfect.
Yeah. It's right out of the
And I
box.
didn't even have my glasses on.
You didn't need them. Exactly. So give it up for MaRTiE.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
I'll see you at Branded.
Please.
We'll be back.
All right. Thank you.
God
Thank you.
bless you.
Baby, you made me feel so glad. You made me feel all those things I never knew I had. Yeah, I'm feeling close. Feeling. You must be